Alright, in this video I'm going to be teaching you some advanced game. In this video I'm going to be teaching you some advanced topics. In this video I'm going to be teaching you some advanced strategies that you have to be aware of, okay? You have to be aware of this one thing at all times, okay? Women are attempting to set the trap so that way you become clingy, okay? In fact, I'm going to even read this exactly how I wrote it down in my notes, so that way you have it word for word directly from me. I wrote down how women set the trap to make you become clingy. So any of you saying, well, what is clingy? Clingy would be you clinging on to any type of emotional reassurance or needing added communication or just getting soft. You have to remember this at all times. The woman that you're dating, okay, doesn't matter who you are or where you live, doesn't matter how old you are. She is probably 2, 3, or 4, or maybe even 5 steps ahead of you a lot of times, at all times, throughout the entire relationship. Okay, a lot of times she's going to be better at understanding the social dynamic between you and her. She's just going to be better at understanding different nuances and mannerisms. She may even be better at certain things like covert or even overt manipulation. And you are probably not even going to be able to spot these things because it will oftentimes just happen. So listen closely. What a woman is attempting to do, or what a woman is trying to do, is she's trying to get you to drop your guard, okay? So that way you become soft. Now, what she's doing is she's going to be setting different traps throughout the relationship, so that way you start to become clingy and you start to seek emotional reassurance. So you have to remember this. A lot of times, like everything a woman does in a relationship, or everything that a woman does throughout the entire dating interaction, is like planned, okay? They are thinking about things, like I said, 2, 3, and 4, maybe even 5 steps ahead of you. And that's just how it's going to be. And you will probably never actually be able to overcome that. That's just going to be how it is. It's a constant back and forth dynamic for leverage, okay? And she's always looking at ways that she can gain leverage and control of the circumstance or of the situation. She's trying to basically gain leverage and control over your mind, okay? This is what she wants you to do, is she wants you to fall into a weak or a submissive state where you are basically emotionally attached to her, or you are emotionally dependent on her, and you feel as if you have this real companionship. And what this is like a facade, okay? So I'm going to explain to you what women will do as you're dating, because they're going to be setting different traps, so that way you reveal your interest level, you let your guard down, and now you're the one needing emotional reassurance, which is ultimately going to, a lot of times, leave you left, okay? She'll leave you. So let's start from the very beginning. When you first meet a woman, a lot of times you are calm, you're grounded in who you are and in your own identity. You probably have a certain degree of like masculine energy and stoicism. And since you guys just met and you're both strangers, you're probably not willing to expose a lot of different parts of your personality, and neither is she. There's going to be different parts of her personality that she doesn't show you yet because it's new. Okay, so you don't actually understand really who she is, and she doesn't understand who you are. Now, listen close, because this is an important piece to all of this. Because she does not yet understand who you are, there is a degree of mystery to you. Now, the reason why women enjoy a good mystery, or a man who appears to be slightly mysterious, is now she basically has like something to uncover slowly, page by page. It's like a good movie or a good book, okay? The movie isn't over typically in like 20 minutes. The movie takes a couple hours to get through. A good book typically takes multiple chapters. So the reason why women like men who are mysterious is because now she gets to peel you back page by page and see what the real inner workings of your personality is like. Now, the closer she gets to you, or the closer she gets to the end of that storybook or that movie, the quicker the storybook or movie is over, and now she needs to find a new storybook or a new movie. Always keep that in mind. The hotter the flame, the shorter the burn. I'll say that one more time. The hotter the flame, the shorter the burn. You need to go into these interactions basically revealing things very slowly. Now keep in mind, let's start from the way beginning. Like I said, I'm not going to lose track of the topic. When you first meet, the reason why she's interested, the reason why she's intrigued is because she does not yet know who you are. She does not yet have you figured out. Because she does not yet have you figured out, that's going to be a turn on. She gets turned on by that because her attraction starts up here in her mind. Her mind starts to control her emotions, as well as like even the things that she might even be fantasizing about. Now, in the beginning, you're that man because it's new, okay? Now, there's different parts of your personality that you have not yet shown her, and you probably won't display those parts of your personality until you guys keep seeing each other and you are more comfortable. Now, the more comfortable you get, the more mistakes you start to make. I'll say that one more time. The more comfortable you get, the more mistakes you start to make. When you get comfortable, you lose your masculine energy. You lose your calm, grounded, stoic persona that you probably had in the beginning, and you start to say, hey, since I know her more on a one-to-one or personal level, I can now just sit and talk to her like it would be my best friend or my brother or my mom or my dad or somebody that I'm close with. Now, this is a brutal mistake that you're going to have to learn and realize probably for yourself, but with enough experience, you're going to see why this will oftentimes leave most men in a state where their relationship completely goes south. Now, as you keep dating, there's different traps you're going to run into. So here's what's going to happen. The more you date and the more she desires to figure you out, especially if you're taking things slowly, where you're not like rushing into a relationship or you're not seeing each other too frequently, she's going to start to do a few things. Number one, she's going to start to be really nice to you. Number two, she's probably going to start to text message you a lot or call you a lot. And number three, you're going to notice that she's probably going to start to initiate contact or communication first because she likes you. So she's going to, like, let's say maybe check in on you throughout the day. She might say things like, how's your day going? Or she might say things like, if you're bored, we can hang out later. I'm free. She might start to actually initiate that contact and that communication. Now, her interest is coming up. A brutal mistake that guys make is, as her interest starts going up, what the guy typically does is he reciprocates. Men oftentimes think really logically, okay? So the problem is like that doesn't work very well in relationships with women. It's really funny, like as a man, a lot of times you can trust your gut instincts. A lot of times your gut instincts of what you should do, a lot of times will lead you astray when it comes to interacting with women or, dealing with your romantic relationships. Now, I'm not quite done yet with this because this is going to be a bit of a longer video, so I can explain this. She's going to start to be nice to you, okay? And the brutal mistake that men make is, as her interest rises, okay, as her interest goes up and she starts communicating more, he reciprocates that interest. Now, the biggest problem with that is you start to lack congruence, because what she fell in love with in the beginning was the man's core identity. So what you put in front of her day one, which makes sense, obviously, because you guys were probably strangers, so you were taking things at a slower pace, right? You weren't revealing a whole lot about yourself. That was a turn on. But she starts to say, well, that's who he is and that's how he is. But she questions it and she goes, I wonder if I can get him to expose more about himself. Now, listen close. When you expose more about yourself, you lose a lot of that mystery. So what women will do a lot of times is they will start to be very high interest. When she's around you, she's going to start to be very nice. She might be very sweet. You guys might be laying there watching a movie and she says, babe, I want to snuggle, and now she, let's say, lays her head on you, and now she's snuggling up with you. She's going to start to do a lot of things to get you to drop your guard and to get you to start to reveal your interest level. Now, this is a completely brutal mistake because these are traps. These are traps that most men fall into. Okay? As you fall into these traps, there's one specific word I want you to remember, and the word is reciprocation. Men are logical. Men think logically. Okay? So if a guy comes up to you on the street and he's really nice and he says, "Hi, my name is whatever," right? It's great to meet you. Your natural instinct is to shake his hand and say, "It's great to meet you too." Reciprocation. If your best friend named Frank, let's say, buys you, a drink when you guys are out the next weekend, you think in terms of reciprocation. So you say, "I'm going to buy Frank a drink," right? Same thing goes if a different guy buys you lunch. You go, "Hey, this next one, it's on me." A lot of times men want to reciprocate. Now, as she lays these traps of being very nice, being overtly kind, being very sweet, she might say things to you like, "I love being around you," okay, just to get you to say things like, "I love being around you too." As soon as you fall into that frame of reciprocation, a lot of times this is where she bites down at you very hard. Okay, so stick with me. When she's doing these things, what she's saying subconsciously to herself, in my opinion, is, "Hey, how can I get this guy to lower his guard? How can I get this guy to basically lose off a few layers of his masculinity?" Okay? This man, let's say he's not talking a whole lot, he's not over complimenting me, he's not over validating me, okay? He's not purposefully trying to show his interest level. He's not doing any of these things. So she's going to say, "How can I get him to open up? How can I get him to reveal his interest level? How can I get him to drop his guard?" Okay? And I would say majority of men fall for this. This is where they go home and they call up their best friend and their mom and they say, "I found a keeper. Oh, she's a good one. Ah, yeah, she's not like most women. She's different. Yeah, I found a different one. No, not her. She's not like all those other women. She's different. Oh, but no, it feels different this time." This is what these guys are going to be saying. This is what these guys are going to be calling their best friend saying, or they're going to say, "Yeah, I really see a future with her. I think I found myself a really good girlfriend." Okay? You're going to notice something that's very interesting. Like if you look at maybe how like your grandpa or your great-grandpa behaved, you're going to notice that their personality was just a little bit harder. Their personality seemed to be just a little bit more fortified, right? They probably carried themselves more like a man's man. And what you're going to notice a lot of times is they were able to gain more respect. And a lot of times what you're going to notice is back then too, regardless of what you want to say about, modern dating with cell phones or social media or whatever. The fact is back then, okay, most people probably didn't get separated or divorced like they do today. And there's a reason for that. Your grandpa or your great-grandpa seemed to have just known how to act and how to carry himself and not to go completely soft. So here's what happens. As she gets you to lower your guard, as she gets you to drop your guard by setting these traps, remember the one word. The word is reciprocation. You start to reciprocate that energy, okay? So she's treating you very nice and very sweet, your guard drops, and you start talking more. So you're going to notice that when you're laying there with her, you maybe start to say more sentences than you typically do. Okay, another thing that you're going to probably notice, or maybe you won't notice, but I'll point it out, you might notice your vocal cadence. The more comfortable you get, you maybe will start talking a little bit quicker. She's going to notice all of a sudden maybe you talk 10 to 15% quicker. You start to use added sentences. Another thing you might be doing is you might start to ask her opinion on things when before you wouldn't. You say things like, what do you think about this circumstance, or what do you think about this situation, or I'm going through this right now at work. What do you think about this? Or what do you think I should do? You start asking for her opinion on things. She's going to notice all these little things, and she's going to go, he's getting more comfortable. He feels like he can actually now talk to me. And this is exactly what she wanted. She wanted you to finally start to go and talk to her. And do you know what happens the moment you reciprocate and you start to talk to her? The storybook is completed. Okay? The movie is over. She's won. You've revealed your interest level. You slowly are going to start to show her consciously or subconsciously that you're in love. And then she's going to leave you. Okay? She might leave you heartbroken, confused, bitter, feeling angry. She is going to leave you with a bunch of emotions because you broke a couple of the rules that you should have been following. Number 1, no reciprocation. Number 2, the hotter the flame, the shorter the burn. And the storybook's over. So you need to keep this in mind. Women are going to be laying basically specific traps by being very nice to you, so that way you reciprocate that energy. Now, as she starts laying these traps and you start lowering your guard, you're going to notice that who you were or who you became, 6 months into that relationship is not who you were day one. And who you were day one was a guy who probably remained slightly mysterious. He probably carried himself with a certain energy or a certain aura or a certain demeanor that was very masculine, and she was probably very attracted to it. So you have to remember this. What women are always doing is they are testing that core identity. The reason why purpose, and understanding who you are and your core root identity as a man is so important is because women are constantly going to be basically poking at it. They're going to be saying, okay, what are you really made of? She's going to be saying, is what you're putting in front of me, the first 3, 4, 5 dates, is this a facade? She's going to be saying, can I get you to reveal your interest level? She's going to be saying, how beautiful do you actually think I am? And she's going to keep trying to figure that out. And she's going to keep trying to figure that out and keep trying to figure that out. And she's going to be laying traps. And the traps is her basically getting you to fall into the idea of true love or mutual love. And the more you believe in that, what you're going to watch is you're going to watch your guard drop. And as your guard drops, she becomes disappointed in you. And then the switch happens. Now, the rest of this video, we're talking about the switch. What is the switch? The switch, see, this is what you have to remember. The man, the masculine, your personality, who you are, it needs to remain solid like a brick, meaning you can't change it. It's like the active force, It can't be changed. It's a brick. Now, the feminine, what you're going to notice is the feminine adapts to what is in front of her. The feminine, or the personality, adapts or changes. You can use a lot of different words, whatever word you want to use to describe it for yourself. If you want to think about the feminine personality or the feminine, just nature overall, the feminine changes, based on what's in front of her circumstances and her surroundings. So the reason why you're getting different treatment all of a sudden is because the switch happened. And the switch happened because what is now in front of her is a different man than before. The man that was in front of her in the beginning was the type of man that she looked up to and respected. And that man slowly changed. That man slowly became something that he wasn't. In the beginning at least, and that man basically changed or adapted or conformed, which basically proved to her that his identity or his core root identity was not strong. It was not like a brick where it couldn't be changed. It was moldable. His core personality conformed or changed to her, which means not only did she gain the leverage in that interaction, but she literally was able to change him just through words. That is not a man's man. That's the opposite. So this is what you have to remember, The switch happens. And you're going to look at the woman and you're going to go, whoa, is this even you? you're going to look at the woman and you're going to go, whoa, like, is this even your personality? Like, do you have a consistent or a congruent personality? And what you're going to find is the switch happens. And the switch is this: in the beginning, she's nice, she's sweet, she acts like you were the first man, you know, in her life that she's probably really liked and adored. And then it's like all of a sudden something happens where it's like she just like looks at you and it's like she despises you. She can't even believe that she was by you. It's like all of a sudden she can't even believe that she even went out with you on a date. Okay, the switch is now all of a sudden what is in front of you is a woman who is probably being mean or disagreeable. She doesn't want to cooperate. She doesn't want to make time to see you. And then if you say anything like why or what's wrong or what did I do, she will get even more frustrated, because the man that she met in the beginning would never say those things. And this is where she really knows that she has now won you over. And when that switch happens, this is the cold truth that all of you have to understand. It is not recoverable. Majority of you, if you say things to me like in the comment section, like, oh, how do I get my ex-girlfriend back? You probably never will. Because the reason why it's almost impossible is because her conscious or subconscious perception of you now is fundamentally changed. Like, she doesn't and no longer and cannot view you again the same way she did when she first met you. Because in her mind, you have now been fundamentally changed or won over. And because of that, she'll probably never look up to you or respect you ever again for the rest of your life. And that's just something you have to understand. That's why these lessons that I'm teaching you in these videos, like, you are going to have to internalize these. You're going to have to really actually understand and accept this, because this is going to hold true for most guys at any age. I don't care if you're in your 20s, I don't care if you're in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, okay? So let's recap. She's going to set different traps by being super sweet to you and super nice to you just to see if you will reciprocate interest. The second you reciprocate that interest, the novel, the storybook, or the movie is over, okay? Now your core identity and who you were has been changed, and now she doesn't like you. This is why you have to be aware of this, and you have to understand, the more you talk to her, the less she likes you. If you like this video, hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.